Buying a home in Vancouver used to be about one question: can you afford the home or not? But today the risk is starting to change. The real danger isn't just paying too much for a property. The bigger risk is buying a home that becomes extremely difficult to sell later, and we're seeing that play out in real time in today's market. Because once normal buyers disappear from a property type, the value starts disappearing right along with them. In today's video, we're going to talk about 10 types of homes in Vancouver that are becoming harder and harder to sell. These are going to be markers that smart buyers should be paying attention to before you are making a purchase. Let's start with number one, homes built on a peat bog. And this is a very real issue in and around Vancouver in multiple areas within the city. Historically, these areas were peat bogs before they were developed into residential neighborhoods. Peat is a very soft organic soil that compresses over time, and when homes are built on top of it, the ground can slowly settle and shift. That doesn't mean every home is unsafe, but it does mean buyers are often much more cautious. Over time, foundations can shift, floors can slope, and stabilizing these homes can be extremely expensive. In some cases, homeowners have to install piles or structural supports that go deep into the ground just to stabilize the property. And once buyers learn that a home is built on peat soil, the buyer pool tends to shrink and it becomes a more specialized property that not everyone is comfortable purchasing. Number two on the list are micro condos and small investor units. Over the past decade, Vancouver saw an explosion of tiny condo units built primarily for investors. These included studio apartments, one-bedroom units, and even small two-bedroom layouts that are under 900 square feet, and in some cases, a 600 square foot junior two-bed condos were for sale. In many cases, because of the small overall size, sometimes under 500 square feet, I know in Vancouver House there's micro units under 400 square feet, the issue was not just the size itself, but the problem is that many of these buildings are filled with dozens or even hundreds of nearly identical units. When investors dominate a building, the resale market can become very crowded. If 10 identical units hit the market at the same time, buyers suddenly have a lot of negotiating power. On top of that, many end users simply don't want to live in extremely small units. Families need space, couples want functionality, and buyers who plan to stay long term often want something larger. When investor demand weakens, these smaller units are usually the first to struggle on resale. Number three are condos that have not been rain screened. This is one of the most well-known issues in Vancouver real estate. Buildings built primarily in the 1980s and early 1990s often lack proper building envelope systems designed to keep moisture out. Over time, that led to what many people refer to as the leaky condo crisis. Water intrusion can damage the building structure, and repairing these problems can cost millions of dollars across an entire strata building. So many of these buildings have already completed envelope remediation projects, but some still have not. When buyers see that a building has not been rain screened or is partially rain screened, they often become extremely cautious. Banks may also review these buildings more carefully before approving mortgages. And that doesn't mean these condos never sell, but it does mean the resale process can become much more complicated. Case in point, you may drive down Broadway or some other areas within Vancouver and you'll see these whole apartment buildings that are covered in scaffolding. And it's because they are doing a full replacement of the exterior. The issue is in some of these buildings, lenders will not lend money out. So anyone trying to sell to get out of these massive expenditures, they can only find cash buyers because it's too much of a risk for a buyer. So keep that in mind when you're looking at older condos in and around Vancouver. Number four are detached homes on tiny or irregular lots. In Vancouver, land is everything. Builders and developers are constantly looking for properties that allow them to build larger homes or redevelop the site entirely now that the land use changes from the province. But when a lot has a very narrow frontage, an irregular shape, or a total size under 3,000 square feet, the redevelopment potential becomes limited. Builders often avoid these lots because the economics don't work as well compared to standard parcels. For regular buyers, these homes can also have awkward layouts, limited yard space, and less privacy from neighboring properties. As a result, these homes often sell at a discount compared to similar houses on standard lots. Number five are leasehold properties. Vancouver actually has several areas where homes sit on land that is not owned outright, but instead leased for a specific number of years. Examples include certain parts in False Creek South, parts of UBC, and homes on Musqueam leasehold land. Leasehold properties can often be significantly cheaper than comparable freehold homes, but the reason is simple. The lease has an expiration date. As the lease term gets shorter, financing can become more difficult and the buyer pool becomes a lot smaller. Buyers worry about what happens when the lease lease expires, whether it will be renewed, and what the new cost might be. That uncertainty makes many buyers hesitant. And keep in mind, there are two types of leasehold properties. There's ones with Aboriginal bands and there's ones with the city as well. So depending on where you're looking at, there are different deviations in terms of how those leaseholds are constructed. Number 6 are strata buildings facing major special levies. As buildings age, you require major capital repairs, things like replacing the parquet membrane, repairing the building envelope, upgrading plumbing systems, or replacing elevators can cost millions of dollars. Those costs are often passed down to individual owners through special levies, and sometimes these levies can reach $50,000 and well in excess of $100,000. When buyers review strata documents and see a large levy coming, many of them simply move on to another building. Nobody wants to buy a condo only to receive a massive bill shortly after taking possession. Number 7 are homes located directly on major arterial roads. Vancouver has several streets that carry extremely heavy traffic throughout the day. Roads like Kingsway, Knight Street, Granville Street, Marine Drive, and parts of Main Street see constant vehicle flow. Homes located directly on these roads face several disadvantages. There's traffic, a lot of air pollution, limited street parking, and safety concerns for families with children. Because of these factors, buyers tend to prefer homes located even 1 or 2 blocks away on quieter residential streets. That difference can translate into a significant resale discount for properties on the main road. Number 8 are condos with limited parking or no storage. Parking and storage have become much more important to buyers in recent years due to the fact that condos are getting smaller and smaller. In some newer buildings, especially smaller units, developers may provide only 1 parking stall for a 2-bedroom condo, or sometimes no storage at all, or no parking for a 1-bedroom condo as well. That can become a problem for families or buyers who need additional space. Storage lockers are essential for things like bikes, seasonal items, and household equipment. When a unit lacks these features, it becomes less attractive compared to other listings that offer both parking and storage. Number 9 are strata buildings with insurance problems. Several years ago, British Columbia experienced a major strata insurance crisis. Premiums increased dramatically, and some buildings struggled to obtain coverage at all. In certain cases, insurance deductibles increased to $500,000 or even $1 million. That means if water damage occurs inside a building, the owner responsible may face a very large deductible before insurance coverage begins. Buyers today are much more aware of these risks, and when they review strata documents, they carefully examine the insurance policy, deductibles, and overall building risk. And finally, number 10 are luxury presale condos built since around 2020. During the peak of the presale boom, developers launched several high-profile luxury towers across downtown Vancouver. Buildings like Vancouver House, the Butterfly, and the Pacific attracted enormous attention and very high presale prices. Many of these units were purchased by investors or speculators expecting prices to continue to rise. But the reality is that some of these units have small floor plans, very high strata fees, and extremely high prices per square foot. As those buildings complete and units hit the resale market, buyers are starting to evaluate whether the layouts and costs actually make sense for long-term living. In some cases, that has created more competition among sellers than expected. The key takeaway from all of this is not that these homes are worthless. Real estate almost never becomes worthless in a city like Vancouver, but certain types of properties can become much harder to sell than others. Smart buyers today are not just looking at the price of a home, they are thinking about insurance, financing, resale demand, and long-term risks. When you're evaluating a property, it's important to look beyond the listing photos and the staging. You want to review strata documents, understand the soil conditions, examine the lot characteristics, and evaluate the long-term maintenance of the building. Because buying real estate is not just about the purchase today, it's also about the resale 5 or 10 years down the road. Life can throw you many detours, and yes, it would be great to sell in a hot market, but if something and some circumstances change in your life, you can't control the market conditions, and if you are selling in a down market like so many sellers are now, you are getting punished. So if you can identify these potential issues before buying, you can avoid purchasing a property that might struggle on resale in the future. And in a market as competitive and expensive as Vancouver, that kind of knowledge can save you a significant amount of stress and money.